Uh, let's woke parents groom 6-year-old boy into child drag. Oh my god.
My name is Asa. I am 6 years old, and
Okay.
I do drag.
What?
Okay, let's see what. I'm just curious about this, genuinely.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com.
Oh, taintstore.com, baby.
Make sure you put the discount code B down and get 30% off all
I'll
the
beat you down, baby.
merch. I'm here in Iowa speaking at the University of Iowa at a Turning Point USA chapter cool. Here, and it's finna be.
Hey, can I speak at TPUSA, dude? Hey, guys. Gay bad. Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy knows. Yeah. Gay not bad. Gay good. I like gay, you know?
Absolutely epic. However, while I'm here, I know it's real echoing here, so forgive me. But while I'm here, I had to make a video about this topic. I have a team of people.
I feel that's going to be me next week. Well, tomorrow. Well, maybe not tomorrow, but I'm going on vacation too, baby. Going to Disney, dude. Boom. We're going to fucking Disney. I'm excited.
Who are absolute experts, and they send me content that I then have to respond to. And I didn't want to respond to content today.
Liberal free
but
zone.
Let's get into this.
Oh, dude, this
Ladies
is
and gentlemen,
based.
Two things have popped up on my radar. The first is the drag queen kid.
Okay.
There's a child that they have postured up to be a drag queen.
Yeah.
I think he's like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
And listening to the parents, and it's a show on Vice where they exploit this kid, but listening to the parents of this kid, the daddy seemed like he gay, and then the mama seemed like she probably wear the pants in the family. And then,
I mean, that makes sense. And if the dad's gay, the kid's probably gay too. This is the problem, dude. This is what conservatives don't understand, right? They're always saying like, no, no, no. This is the new conservative talking point when it comes to gay people. It's like, listen, it's okay to have the thoughts, but you gotta suppress those thoughts. And it's like, but then all you're doing is you are a gay person sleeping with somebody. You're sneezing into somebody's box, and then what's gonna happen? Your kid's probably gonna come out. He's gonna come out just like you. He's kind of gay. You know what I mean? There's a higher chance. And so all you're doing is making more gay people, right? So if you think about it, conservatives, you're making more people gay. You know? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want more gay people?
these are the people that be messing these kids up. So you got a gay daddy and a mama that thinks she a dude. And
what is he talking about? What do they look like?
And they thrusting this kid into drag queen shows.
Damn.
The shows, adults are a part of the show, and also children are a part of the show. And they act like the kid was just born to be this way.
Maybe. Listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing with drag. First of all, I think I'm uncomfortable. I'm very comfortable with drag when it's adults, because gay guys think I'm hot. I go to a drag show. They're like, oh, you're so handsome. You're so muscular. You're like a bear. Makes me feel attractive. But when it comes to kids, yeah, I'm very uncomfortable about that. I definitely think that drag isn't fundamentally sexualized, but there is a lot of sexualization associated with it, especially since drag usually parodies music, and there's a lot of music stuff where people are very sexual. You got Dua Lipa shaking her ass. I'm not against it. You know, I'm not against a grown man doing it either, because I don't mind, you know. But then when it comes to either boys or girls doing it, whether it's in drag or not, I think that's disgusting, you know, kids. So, you know, that's what makes me a little uncomfortable when it comes to drag. I'm also uncomfortable because, like, I don't see why you need a drag queen to go into a school and be like, hey, guys, gay pride. It's like, okay, but, like, there's other gay people that don't dress up like clowns that you could talk to kids. Like, hey, I'm gay, and I'm a business guy. I just do business. Oh. So you're just like a regular person. Yeah, I feel like drag is like a small subsection of the LGBTQ community. Why are we, whatever, making that the thing? But when it comes to kids doing drag, you know, it's like there's probably some real gay kids out there. Like, I have a cousin. I knew that motherfucker was gay when I was 4. Well, he was 4. I told my uncle, I said, he's fucking gay. And my uncle was like, as long as he's happy. And guess what? I was 11 when I said that. Motherfucker, I'm 33. That guy, he's gay as hell. And I love him. You know, it's just like they're a gay kid. You could tell. That's who we used to know. That's how we knew who we were supposed to bully. You know, that's how we knew who we were back in the day. You know, now you're giving away our trade secrets. But I mean, they're gay kids. All jokes aside, they're gay kids. And it's like, they probably would like this shit. And it's like, you know, there's a difference between pushing your kid to do drag versus your kid just being gay and wanting to do drag. And it's just like, you know, you just have to make sure that you're a responsible parent. Because I don't think that your kid dressing up like a fucking, like Aretha Franklin is necessarily going to do anything to the kid. Nothing bad's going to happen to the kid. It's weird. I'm not comfortable with it, but when I look at it objectively, I'm like, what really is going to happen? As long as the kid's not dressing up in a sexualized manner, whether they're a boy or a girl, you know, like, I guess, who cares? I guess at that point, you know, it's just a weird topic. Yeah.
Like, that's like saying my kid was born to play football. Meaning that I don't have to put any effort. Somehow he just goes out on the football field and put on the uniform and play football, and I don't have to teach him nothing. I don't have to take him to practice. I don't have to pay for no clip.
Are you saying football is bad? Because I feel like I'd rather my kid do drag, be a drag queen, than be a fucking football player. I mean, there's no quicker way to manufacture a TBI than to be a fucking football player. I mean, if you really are concerned with the safety of kids, I don't think you should let your kid play football. Okay, I'm just saying. That shit's dangerous. I get soccer. I understand, like, every other sport is fine, but football? Your kid's gonna get fucking destroyed. I feel like football is more dangerous than drag. You know? I'd rather my kid do this than, like, have a fucking missing half of his goddamn skull.
Please, I ain't gotta do nothing. He just woke up.
I'm gonna have, like, fucking putty brains.
That's not the case, and that's not the truth. You have to introduce this kid to drag queen. How would a kid know about drag queen?
Probably saw RuPaul, man. Like, hey, I like that. Well, this is how this would work in my household. I have a kid. He's like 8, and you know, my wife's just watching RuPaul Drag Race. The kid's like, I like that, and I'd be like, why? Why do you gotta like that, man? Damn. That's what I said. Damn. You couldn't have been a porn addict like me. You gotta like fucking drag.
I mean, when I was growing up, I never heard of nothing like that. You have to expose the kid to it at first, and then you gotta buy the clothes. The kid don't just wake up one day dressed like a drag queen. You got to then go to places, get clothes customized because they.
What do you mean? Why do you get customized? You just got to go to the store and get your kid gay or girl clothes.
They don't make skanky clothes for kids like that.
Well, not all drag is skanky, but okay.
Maybe Target do, but
got it.
They're not waking up like this. People are manipulating their kids, but.
I don't know, man. I feel like kids will see shit and they're like, I like that. And then as long as it's not dangerous, whatever. I mean, same thing with football, I guess. I think football's so dangerous, though. I would not want my kid doing that.
Don't believe me. I want you to see this clip.
All right, show it to me. Convince me.
Where it shows all these things that I'm saying. And then we're going to come back and talk about it.
Convince me, dude.
My name is Asa. I am 6 years old.
So far, none of this is sexualized. It's just weird.
And
it's like, okay.
I do drag.
Asa is a baby drag
Holy fuck, dude.
queen.
Well, I mean, I'll say one thing.
Asa is a baby drag.
I mean, Mr. Officer Tatum is correct. This guy's gay. Nobody sits like this. That's straight. I'm just saying. I have my wife's gay best friend and her gay best friend's husband. They sit like this. This is just something that happens.
Queen. He performs at drag shows as Lulu Lovely Twirls.
Lulu Lovely Twirls.
I
He started doing this
don't know. This is so weird.
4, 5, now 6 years old. He is by far the youngest performer we've seen.
There's even adult performers that sometimes you can outperform.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the next RuPaul. At first, I was terrified. You never really know what people's reactions are gonna be.
You know, my reaction to this is just like, I'm not even gonna put energy into it. You know, there's other things going on. I'm not gonna worry about some gay guy and his beard wife's gay kid. God bless. I hope that it turns out well. I got other things to do. You know what I mean? That's I don't know, man. It's just so fucking weird. What are you gonna do, dude? Yeah, appropriate shirt to be wearing for this, huh? Hey, love is love, dude. It doesn't matter if a boy or a girl or a 4-year-old and a 90-year-old. I'm just kidding. That's disgusting. But I don't know, dude. This is just weird. I mean, this falls into me. This falls into the realm of pageantry. You know, I understand your outrage for drag, but like, well, how come it's not there for fucking pageants? You know what I mean? You're sitting here like, oh my God, I hate it when a fucking 8-year-old little boy dresses in girl clothes. Like, well, what about the 8-year-old girl where like all 3 judges are pedophiles wanking their crank under the fucking table, you know, voting on how sexy your little 7-year-old girl is in a beauty pageant? I mean, I'm just saying, be a little fucking consistent. But I see so much more outcry for drag than I do for beauty pageants. It's just like, well, how come you're not worried about that? If you'll probably say in response, no, that's bad too. But like, I don't see any fucking rallies against it. I see rallies against fucking kids dressing up in drag. Where are the goddamn rallies? You're stopping the fucking pedophile Olympics. That's what beauty pageants are, by the way, for kids. I'm just saying, dude. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think the biggest misconception of Asa and what he's doing is?
Well, I think there's a few people who don't like
Oh,
what we believe.
see?
He's doing is.
Well, I think there's a few.
I knew he liked cock. I'm sorry. That was inappropriate. I'm sorry. That was very inappropriate. I'm very sorry. But it was funny. It was worth it.
People who don't like what we believe can sometimes be violent. People want to cause harm to our family, like legit harm.
We're getting death threats.
Horrible things
Crazy.
being said
That there was a child stripping,
and dancing provocatively.
calling us groomers, pedophiles,
Child Protective Services was called on us.
and then
Damn. Okay.
the anti-drag bill.
This is an activity that is exploiting children.
We had a child that would be directly affected by this law. Asa whispered in my ear, "Can I testify?" I still wasn't sure where I was at with him performing drag at that point. I said, "Are you
You had him show up in the drag outfit. You couldn't have had him just dress appropriately for the fucking event. Like, you really? Would you expect everybody to see the kid and be like, wow, we made a mistake. He looks so beautiful. We can't ban drag. What the fuck?
sure you want to speak?"
It's like he was born to do this.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just stay out of it. How much of this are we going to see? The whole fucking episode?
Lisa, can we put a little mic on you?
Okay.
Tell us, what are we about to see?
A tour of my room. I made this at somebody's birthday party. It's
I mean, the kid looks happy. Everything about all things aside.
a popsicle. He's saying my name. I think
How much should you donate to do me? Oh my god, I can't read. How much should you donate to get me to do drag? I don't think I'm gonna do drag, brother.
11.
Okay.
Her nickname is Drag Bear. And it looks like she has makeup on.
Okay.
Here's my Barbie
I just hope it's not my kid. You know.
house. Here's
No, God bless you guys.
Townsville.
What's Townsville from?
It's from fucking Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls.
Oh my god.
The mayor's tower, which has the pride flag.
Who made this for you?
My dad.
Wow.
I would consider our family to be a traditional family.
Can we go traditional?
Traditional family.
Okay.
I look bad
How many other kids you got?
with that coat.
Do you remember that picture?
Was it when I became the drag queen?
They all do different sports. They all have their activities that they do, but we have a child that's interested in something that's maybe not as traditional.
Okay.
Asa refers to himself as a drag queen. He does it very
man.
proudly. He performs at drag shows as Lulu Lovely Twirls. He puts together and produces his own numbers for drag shows.
Okay.
What do you like about drag?
Getting to meet the drag queens and performing. Dancing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, listen, you know, it's just weird. I think that's it though. I don't think it's morally outrageous. I think it's just weird. I think it's just a little weird.
I mean, what is happening? I'm confused.
I don't know. Things are changing, man. This is what it is.
I'm confused. And many people think, well, you know what? They born like this. No, they indoctrinating these kids.
Well, I mean, the kid's probably born gay. Just to be clear, you know, you're for the most part. Listen, here's the gay scale. This is how gay works. Okay, you have your straight, and then you got your gay. Okay, you got your straight and you got your gay. All right. And I think you're born somewhere on that line. You know, maybe you're born more straight, maybe you're born a little gay. Some people, they say like, well, there's no one genetic link. There's like, I think like 25%, about a quarter of your genes could have a link to you being gay. But there's also hormone washing in the womb. We know that for every successive boy born to the same mom, the higher chance they are to be gay. So it's a complicated mixture between, you know, the genetics, and then internal environmental factors of the womb, and then external environmental factors of what's going on outside. And, you know, for me personally, I was born, I think, around 80%, 80% straight. How about that gay? But I grew up in a very conservative household. Not very conservative, but fairly conservative. My mom was like a little conservative, so I'm not that gay. So now I just secretly jack off to femboy porn. You know, but if I was born in, you know, if I was born in a little more of a progressive area, I'd probably be a little more gay. And then I would probably publicly jack off to it. You know? And I think that's okay. Because here's the thing. I'm not at a point where I could be attracted to men and do them in the butt. Because I personally couldn't get taken in the butt. That's the real gay thing. You know? And so, but I wish I was. Because if I was gay, that doubles my option. It triples your options, really. Men are more down to fuck than girls. Girls are lame. You got to put a lot of work in there. Not so much for guys. And so this is kind of how it works. So you know what I mean? Like the kid was born. He had an accepting household. He's probably gay and he likes drag. It's a little weird, but I mean, there's bigger problems in the world. You know what I mean? So I don't think I really care. I wouldn't say indoctrinating. If you're going to say it's indoctrination to have your kid like look at gay stuff, it's indoctrination to have your kid go to church. You know what I mean? Nobody's born to go to church. You know what I mean? It's just like everything's indoctrination. Realistically speaking, everything's about conditioning, which way you let your kid lean to. You know what I mean? Or not. And it's just like, is it really bad? What's the negative that comes out of this kid dressing like a girl? I just don't see it. You know, it's just weird to me, but that's it.
And I got another video that we're going to put right up here where I go and explain and show you the literature that they're showing kids and indoctrinating them into being trans. These kids are not born this way. My son just told me
the fuck are you talking about, man? Where are you going to show it to me?
The day, and he's 2, that he wanted to be a princess or something like that. And it's like, yeah, yesterday he was Superman, then he's Spider-Man, then he's a princess, then he's...
Yeah, you just say no. I mean, the thing is that it doesn't really matter because that's not gender dysphoria. A kid saying I want to be a princess isn't the same thing as like a consistent pattern of having distress associated with your gender and your sex not matching.
Sky from Paw Patrol, and then he wants to be daddy, and then he loves mommy, but then he loves daddy more, and then he's a 2-year-old.
Damn.
Of course he don't know what's going on, but as a responsible parent,
okay,
to make sure that your kid is understanding and being consistent with who God made him to be.
Yes. God, of course, man, it's God. You know. God is real, but trans is... listen, dude, I'm not trying to be that fucking guy, but like we sit here and you're going to tell me that like it's more likely that God exists than trans exists. I mean, not for nothing. If you think that being trans is delusional, you're telling me it's not delusional, that you believe in a God that put the male pleasure center inside of their anus and expected me not to try to dig in there with a fucking hard dick? You know what I mean? Who's more fucking delusional? All right, if there is a God, that motherfucker wanted me to do that. That's what he wanted from me, dude. Why would he do that? Why would he tease me like that? I feel like that's cruel and unusual punishment. I feel like that's cruel and unusual punishment, brother. Doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. You know? So
you tell him, no, you a boy, mama's a girl.
Crazy.
Mommy do this and daddies do this. He's too young to know you have a penis, but we kind of talk to him about it. He know he got some down there.
Okay.
You know.
Why is he trying to know he's a penis? Just a penis. Tell your kid, yeah, you have a penis. It's not really like sexual to tell your kid they have a penis. This is like one of those weird things because it gets into the conversation about proper sexual health education. It's like these kids are too young to know about penises. They're only... Why? Like a penis isn't like an inherently dirty thing. You piss out of it. Like, well, I guess that makes it dirty. It's not just for sex. It's like it's part of your body. You pee. You should understand parts of your body. And the earlier you have, and I know he just didn't bring up consent, but the earlier you have conversations about penises and vaginas and consent, the earlier your kid gets to recognizing these things and protects them from being molested. Because if it's a no topic that you don't talk about, it's, fucking Uncle Schmingle is going to go in there and start molesting your kid, and the kid's not going to know if this is a good or a bad thing. But then once you start educating kids on sex and what is and isn't appropriate, all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, Uncle Schming, what are you doing, dude?
Teach him how to potty train. He know him and mama different. He know that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, penises and vaginas, man. Grow up. Just say penis and vagina, like be an adult.
Why in the world are people brainwashing their children? And they say, well, you stay out of it. You stay out of it. Listen, if you were giving your kid a fifth of vodka every night before he go to sleep at 5, 6 years old, you would, a reasonable person would say, that's
yeah, I mean, but that's you're literally introducing a toxic thing to somebody's body. I feel like that's a little different than your kid just being gay, wearing a dress.
Child abuse. Like, maybe you shouldn't introduce that kid to that.
Listen, man, I hate to be that guy because I love God. I grew up very religious, but all I'm going to say is that I feel like it's probably more dangerous to grow your kid up to be very religious than it is for your kid to be gay. Because what religion, if you take a step back and you remove the rose-colored glasses of you being born and being raised as a Catholic. I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to church like every day, not every day, every week. Every Sunday for years. And I had a beautiful, incredible church. I had great church members and they were fantastic, and I was never molested, maybe because I was ugly, I don't know. But being W for being ugly, am I right? But what I will say is when you create this power dynamic, that there's this one almighty God, and that you have these select few people, priests, that are the only ones that are able to talk to God and communicate to them, this ultimate punisher that will smite you for doing bad and give you something for doing good. It creates this insane power dynamic between the priest and the kids that can lead to molestation very easily. I mean, let's say, and especially since you do these like private, one-on-one sit-down kind of things to alleviate your sins effectively. And it's like, imagine you're molested by this priest. They weaponize this power dynamic and they molest that kid, and they're like, well, this is a representative of God. I can't say anything to anybody. I'm not saying this is something that regularly happens, though there are massive church scandals where this does happen. The point is that if we're going to have a conversation about overall harm, religion is objectively more harmful than your kid doing drag. It's just a fact. It's an unfortunate fact that people weaponize God like that. But if you're going to do that, and the same thing when it comes to doing football, he brought up football. Your kid's objectively more likely to get hurt doing football or being very devout. And when it comes to religion, than being gay or being a drag queen. So if we want to have a real conversation about like harm reduction, make your kid gay, dude. Make your kid gay.
If you're showing a child pornography at the age of 8.
Okay, well, nobody's showing, this isn't porn.
You think that's okay?
No, that has nothing to do with drag.
Your kid, they were born to be a porn star.
The fuck are you talking? Drag isn't a porn.
Like, that makes no sense.
so
you don't indulge.
I'm so fucking confused right now.
In a fantasy of yours or a fantasy you think your kid got.
What the fuck are you
talking
about?
That's child abuse.
All right, yeah, giving your 8-year-old alcohol and trying to get them to do porn is definitely child abuse. Who cares? There's nothing to do with this.
So, of course, people should call the police on these people. Child Protection Service should interview and say, is this kid somehow naturally doing this, or they're being coerced? Is this some type of
That's a good question. It looks like this kid's actually happy. There is a difference between forcing your kid to do something versus letting your kid do whatever, like do what they want. But I mean, like, a kid looks happy. Like, if I'm uncomfortable with it, but I don't have to try to have a virtue signal meltdown over this fucking gay kid. It's not really a big deal.
Fetish that these parents have of these kids.
Why do you think it's a fetish? What the hell's wrong with you?
Grooming their kid up to be a sexualized being.
Okay. Do you find the kid sexy? Are you getting horny for this little kid, dude? What's wrong with you, bro?
They were not born that way. Anyway, I could talk about this for 100 years.
Yeah, and you make yourself look ridiculous. Nobody was born to be gay, or wait, okay, listen. If you're gonna say that kids aren't born to be gay or born to do drag, which is just a saying, people are like, I was born for this. I was born to play football. I was born to play basketball. I was born to be an accountant. I don't know who says that. Then you can't say that you were born to be like a fucking son of God, because there's no objective proof God exists. So, I mean, like, again, I love the concept of God. I think he could have a lot of positive, but I don't like the weaponization. I don't like the massive cognitive dissonance between saying, fucking like God is real, but trans people aren't. Like, it makes no sense. You have no fucking proof. It's insane. There's more proof that trans people exist than God exists. Just to be clear,
these people get on my nerves, and it makes me my mind pop. And I'm going to talk about this tonight at the event. Yeah. I'm gonna go off. I'm a
Well, it's nice that you can. The most emotional people in the world are conservatives. So let's just be fucking real here. You know, you complain about like liberals screaming and crying when Donald Trump was elected, which was pathetic. And then you got a guy here ranting with no actual factual logic to anything. He's just yapping because he finds a gay kid uncomfortably sexy. I guess I don't know. He's saying it was sexual. I don't know where he gets that from.
To massive super chat $50. This guy has the gayest facial reactions.
You think so? Maybe.
With how crazy I get tonight.
That's crazy, man.
Explain.
Are you gonna come or
why this is such a detrimental thing that's happening to our young people in society? When I was growing up, nobody.
Do you think this is like the most detrimental thing? Is a fucking gay kid? You don't think that maybe, I don't know, not being able to afford housing is more detrimental? I'm thinking. You're right. You're so right, dude. Holy shit, dude.
Was trans, and now like 20% of people claim they trans or non-binary.
Not 20% of people are not claiming that they're trans or non-binary, dude. 20% of like the youngest generation is saying that they identify with LGBTQ. The overwhelming amount of them are just saying they're bisexual. What you're saying is just dumb. You're not even like, you don't even know what you're saying. Like, if you're gonna have an argument, at least know your own argument. There's not 20% of people identify as trans. No, they don't, you fucking baby. Most of them are like saying they're fucking bisexual. What are you talking about?
All of the stupidity that you can think of.
It's stupid that you don't even know what the actual statistic is. Like, how are you even talking about it? What the fuck?
But anyway, don't listen to me.
I'm not.
I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.
All right, guys. Cool beans. You know what's a little cringe though? I don't like anybody who centralizes their entire identity around like one thing. So I don't like gay people that are just like super gay. I don't like trans people that are like just everything's about being trans. I don't like fat people that's just about being fat. I don't like black people it's just about being black. I don't like white people that's black. You understand my point? I don't like theater nerds. Same goes for people who sell two gender shirts because it's all about being a conservative. I hate people who fucking centralize their entire identity around one identity. It's the cringiest thing in the entire world.